Hello, it's just David here with my weekly message following a week on from Trinity Sunday. Um, One of the things I do when I have children to the church, and well, lots of things we do, but one of the things it's always, gets a bit of fun and good photo opportunities to dress them up in some of the vestments. And dress them up also in the different colours. And I hope you've noticed in the years of going to church that we have different sort of colour vestments which match one or two other things in the church. And you might have wondered why. And the reason is very simple, really, is that they just sort of guide you through the year. They give you a bit of a visual clue. And what I do with the children is a whole lot of different colours, reds, gold, purple and green mainly. And just say, how would you describe that colour? And so, it might normally look for sort of happy or sad. So that's a good thing. So, Christmas and Easter, happy. Yes, we're dressed in gold. Time when we think about Good Friday or a martyr, red. And then time when we're, perhaps thinking of something a bit, Lenten or Advent, purple, because a bit of a sad colour. It doesn't always work, but you know what I'm saying. And so then we get to green, and I kind of say, oh, green, and they're sort of, well, it's sort of ordinary, isn't it? And I say, absolutely. I mean, if they use the word ordinary, that's great, because it's what in the church we call ordinary time. And that can sound a bit like, well, ordinary can be a bit of an insult, can't it? And you get those advertising things that, don't be ordinary, be extraordinary, be always extraordinary. And of course, you can kind of see what they're getting at. But in one sense, you can't always be extraordinary. You can't have a festival every day of the year. Otherwise, festivals just become ordinary. You've got to have a kind of level from which you kind of go up or you go down in terms of your mood. So green is ordinary. And I want to just think about that, because also that's the time, because when you go to Advent, you're in purple, then you get Christmas, then you get a short period, then obviously we're sort of Lent, Easter, Ascension, Pentecost, and you get a kind of basically 4 or 5 months in the church's year when sort of the most of the kind of ups and downs are slightly packed in. I mean, mainly because it kind of narrates the life of Jesus, if you think about it, from Christmas to Pentecost. And then from Pentecost back to Advent, which is another sort of, 6 months or so, we tend to think of other things in our faith apart from the life of Jesus, and so we most of that time we're wearing green, and it's what's called ordinary time. And I think about this quite a lot in life. So I mean, one of the things in COVID that I've realised I have missed is sort of getting away. I mean, I know sometimes some sorts of holidays have been possible and some sort of getting away, and there's been times when we've been more severely locked down. But I want to, just think about that, because actually, particularly as it's gone on a bit, I've, particularly because of, yet again, sort of cycling and things, I've watched sort of, people videos on YouTube and people going on cycling adventures and thinking, oh, wouldn't it be great to get out there and do those things? A bit like, when I went to sort of Rome on the bike and things. So I've been very lucky being able to do some of those things. And of course, lucky, like many people, enjoy holidays very much, as no doubt you do. And I say some will have missed it more than others. And I mean, I do understand that, not having your holidays is not the worst thing that's happened in COVID. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. But nonetheless, you think about it, don't you? So, but I was thinking about, again, that relationship between, I say I love those things. But I think, again, I only love them in contrast to being at home. And actually, home is where the heart is. Saying after you come back from holiday, it's good to be home, I think are true as well. I mean, I do, in some sense, I'm very much a home bird. I mean, I love being home. I love having a home. And I think that's really important. And I think, although I say enjoy adventure, enjoy getting away, enjoy traveling, I wouldn't want to be a nomad. I wouldn't want to be a traveller somehow on the road. Now, obviously, sometimes people are forced on the road for rather difficult reasons. For instance, they're refugees, a huge amount of displaced people in the world at the moment, and a lot of people who, who desperately miss their homes. Um, and so, yeah, so I think that home is really important. So, and I think that's your sort of green place, isn't it? That's your ordinary place, and I think that's sort of very comforting, and you need that. It's not that I don't think we want to be gold all the time. I think we want basically to be green with some gold, just to break it up a bit. I think that's what we want. So, yes, I think this message is in praise of ordinariness of life, and having yes, that's a base from which to work. I think also though that Christians, there is this idea as well that you see in the Bible, that we are strangers and pilgrims on earth. So there is a sense that perhaps a bit of the wanderlust that we have as Christians is partly to do with the fact that we're not entirely satisfied with this life. And, we all know it has its compromises. We all know there's things that worry us or aren't quite working out probably all the time. But it is that sense for Christians that our true home is with God. And that we yearn for that homeland, what we might call heaven or paradise or eternal life, whatever you want to call it. But there is something beyond home that is even more home, if that makes a sense. And therefore, even when you're sitting in your sitting room having your sort of dinner in front of your favorite television program with your sort of family around you and the dog sitting on the sofa next to you, there's even then there's a sense for Christians that we're still, it's not quite complete. I mean, it's lovely, don't get me wrong, but also there's something else. As I say, we are always strangers and pilgrims, looking for a heavenly home, as the scriptures remind us. So I think that's what I want to think about, the fact that ordinariness is good, but also there is something that we are called to beyond the ordinary. And I always remember there was some sort of scientific thing where they say, it's been found out that human beings react very well to sort of largely green environments. And of course, it isn't that God has designed us that way, or maybe it is, or whatever. But of course, the point is that when the world around us is green, then we know we're kind of in a good place. That's in terms of evolution where we would expect to be. And so, as I say, when we sort of turn to the green in church, which we will be doing now for the next 6 months, I mean, you may or may not notice these things, that when we've moved to green, so we've kind of come home to our ordinary church existence. There's not that many big festivals between now and Christmas, and I think that's fine. It reminds us of the good and the blessings of the ordinary. Thank you.